What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Blerd It Out. We got the new One Piece chapter 1122 hash dropped a little later than usual, but we got it and we're gonna talk about it. Plus, we're gonna run through some of the seasonals I picked up. We got a long list of those that I'm actually interested in. Some I've started, some I haven't started yet, but plan to start. We'll run through those as well. First, a word from our sponsors. Thank you for tuning in to Blerd It Out. Whether you're listening from YouTube on my channels like Taran King Kuma or Blerd It Out Podcast, or one of the many podcast sites like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more, I appreciate your support. If you want to listen to older episodes of that podcast, head on over to Patreon. If you join as a free member, you can watch all the old episodes from the old seasons for free. Plus, there'll be other content that didn't quite make it to an episode or on a YouTube video that you can check out there as well. Your support means the world. And if you have not caught up to the latest chapters or episodes, please note there will be spoilers ahead.
Spoilers.
Okay, so the chapter. First off, we have the cover of Jump, and we have pretty much it's a joint cover. You got all the series on there. But you have Luffy up in front, and he's actually pushing Deku out the way, which is kind of crazy considering that this volume holds the last chapter of My Hero. My Hero has like officially ended at this point. And I plan on doing a video about the last chapter and kind of the series overall on the main channel. So keep an eye out for that. But I think it is pretty funny that they still have Luffy like front and center. And he's not only pushing Deku out the way, but you have Yuji far in the back. And then kind of just everyone else there. Like the hold that One Piece kind of has on Jump is always crazy to see. Now the cover request is actually a remake of Horikoshi's art that he did for One Piece way back in the day. Now it's really weird to see. Not weird. It's nice. It's nice to see because Horikoshi was a fan of One Piece way back when. One of the old volumes has Horikoshi in it, kind of talking about his early experience, and then we see the progression, and it's like, you know, a while ago, Oda was like, hey, check out this new mangaka, check out his new series. And now, you know, that series became really popular and it's ending and One Piece is still running. So it's like we saw the beginning and end of another popular series while living through One Piece. And it reminds me a bit of when Naruto ended because it's just the feeling of like a major series ending, and then One Piece paying homage to it, especially in like a cover like this. Like we got the Naruto one before. It just feels surreal because, you know, one of these days it's gonna be One Piece that's ending, and we're just not gonna have one of these moments anymore. And the art itself is really cool. It's of Smoker, who, I mean, we really haven't. It's actually cool because we recently did see Smoker after not seeing him for like the entirety of like basically New World past Punk Hazard. So it's like, it's good to see him again in the story and on this cover art. The cover art looks crispy clean. Like once that gets colored, which I'm sure, like if it hasn't already been colored, it'll be colored soon. It's going to look crazy. Onto the chapter itself. We get the initial reaction of some people going over the last words of Vegapunk, where basically they're like, so it seems like pirates are going to be the ones that change the course of the world. Because, I mean, pirates are the ones going after One Piece, right? Not only has the Navy not really expressed interest in going after One Piece, but realistically, it will be hard for them to do at this point. And I mean, it's always been hard for them to do considering the Yonko are kind of like barriers to the One Piece. Like to get to the One Piece, you have to get past the Yonko in some way, shape, or form. And the Marines just don't have the utilities to go against all of the Yonko. They don't. I mean, even the Yonko don't have the utilities to go against other Yonko, which is why the world's been at such a stalemate. So it's like, even if they wanted to, there's not much they could do about it. Even still, all the pirates are basically getting the revamp. You know, what happened when Roger initially announced the One Piece, what happened when Whitebeard said it was real. Basically, they have another confirmation. Everyone's going out. Even the prisoners and Impel Down are like, yeah, let us out and get some of that. Which is crazy because y'all ain't going nowhere. we get a few panels of Kobe, and he's remembering his discussion with Luffy about basically their dreams. And we've known from the beginning that they were going to be enemies at some point. They even acknowledged it themselves that, you know, he wants to be an admiral, Luffy wants to be Pirate King. Those dreams are naturally conflicting. But Kobe said that he's going to have to stop Luffy from achieving his dream. Now, we were all there for Marineford. We saw what happened when he tried to stop Luffy. Just imagine that, but 2 years later. That's what's going to happen if he tries to get in the way of Luffy's dream. In fact, I don't even know if he's getting past Sanji, let alone Zoro, let alone getting to Luffy. Like he has to level up in the most insane way possible if he even wants to be able to compete with stopping Luffy's dream. But it's always good to see like his ambition. You know, we know that Kobe is a Luffy fanboy, but we got to see how he really feels about going against him. And this is kind of like the indicator that, you know, I got to put all that aside when push comes to shove. Good to see from Kobe. Good first character. I don't think it's going to come through, but you know, and speaking of clowns, we go to Buggy. And Buggy is talking to the rest of his team about how basically, well, they're saying like it's going to be Buggy's era, and Buggy's like, no, it's going to be our era. And then, of course, all of his crew basically just fawn over him, which is what they always do. But I think Oda has really made Buggy into an insanely charismatic character. Like, he felt kind of pathetic early on, and even though he had like a loyal crew that followed him, he still felt like just this lackey of a character. But now it's like he does have an aura about him that's kind of crazy. Even though you have like Crocodile and Mihawk behind him, who are obviously the true ringleaders, they really can't do this without Buggy. Buggy is such an integral part of Cross Guild that he kind of earns his position as like the face of it. Flash over to Catamaran Devon, and they're talking about what to do with Caribou. We have no idea where Blackbeard's at. He might be back at Hachinosu, although he wasn't there initially, and it looks like Catamaran is still on the pirate ship heading back. So it's very possible that he's also heading back to Hachinosu. He could be there already, he could be somewhere else. No idea. Basically, he wants to bring Caribou to him and vet out his information. And now he says that if his information is a dud, he's putting it down. The thing is, even if his information is good, I wouldn't be surprised if Blackbeard was like, I could use your fruit better with someone else. Because we know Blackbeard ain't about, you know, doing things for everybody. He's got his crew partially in mind, but as far as like outsiders, he don't care. And it would be a really pirate thing for him if you were to take the info and be like, yeah, this is great. Also, you're dying. Like that would be insane, but I would actually love that. And then we go back to Vegapunk, and he still has more to say about JoyBoy. But at this point, the Iron Giant gets hit again, and I think this one actually ends up destroying the Denden Mushi. We see it fall to its side, and then we see the explosion on its back, so I think the message is over. And considering the fact that it looks like they're going to destroy the Iron Giant by the end of this chapter, I'm pretty sure that we're not going to be hearing any more of that message. Again, I would really like it if Lilith has like the memory of the message in her mind so that we can actually hear it. Otherwise, it feels like we kind of got shafted on this message. Because I mean, what did we learn? We got some stuff. I'm not gonna say we didn't learn anything, but the tease stuff is I think what we really wanted to hear, and we heard none of it. And that's kind of crazy to me. Noshiro is still attacking the Sunny, which is insane because we thought we were going to get away. We're still in the air, by the way. Haven't landed yet. Still floating, still flying. So time is moving very slow through these chapters. And something I noticed is that I think I've seen this in one of the other chapters. Basically, so Chopper and Usopp had the eyes shooting out of their head gag that generally comes with Gear 5. But I don't think they're in... I don't know if there's like a proximity thing. Luffy isn't around at this point. They're still really high in the sky away from Luffy. So I'm wondering if this is just like a gag, or if this is the Gear 5 radius. I'm not sure. I would like to see if it's actually, you know, part of Gear 5, just has like this overarching radius where everything around it is just goofy. But I think that's gonna be hard to show. It looks like Zoro's about to clash with Gandhi, but the Iron Giant has something else in mind. First, he starts apologizing to Luffy because he's like, I know you aren't JoyBoy, but you look just like him, and you bring with you the drum's liberation, so I was feeling nostalgic. And he's happy that he got the chance to at least feel nostalgic. I think he knew JoyBoy at some point would never be coming back, whether it's when he was initially like decommissioned, or as soon as he woke up and he was like, I hear the drums, and he saw. I think either way he was like, yeah, this isn't JoyBoy. Now he says he failed to make him king, and I want to know deeper connection lore between this giant and JoyBoy. Like, did JoyBoy have a hand in personally making him? What about this giant is like so important that he had such a rapport with JoyBoy that he was going to make him king? And as he is kind of thinking about that, we have all of the Gorosei trying to attack the ships again. And it's kind of a crazy panel because you have all of them, like Jupiter, Nosturo, Mercury, Saturn, all jumping at the ships. And they're insanely huge. Like, they dwarf the Iron Giant. All but Nosturo, who I could have sworn was bigger than some of these guys at some point. Jupiter is insanely big. I don't think he was that big when he was initially shown. He's insanely big now. Like, you can see Saturn at the bottom there, and I think Saturn is the size he was when he showed up. Everyone else, insanely massive. I don't know why. But Luffy gives his signature, I'm Monkey D. Luffy gonna be king of the pirates. And JoyBoy's like, huh, they get the middle initial D. Okay. I see you out there. And he thanks Luffy for basically giving him the drums again. Like I said, he was going on a nostalgia trip. And he pulls this wire. And in this wire contains JoyBoy's Conqueror's Haki. How? I have absolutely no idea. Now, the first thought is that these are similar to the Wistoria wind knots. You know, where Nami was at for a while, where you could pull the knots apart and they would release wind. It seems very similar to that technology, except instead of wind, it's got Conqueror's Haki in it. And this Conqueror's Haki is so insane that, one, it looks like the sky splits on its own. Like, there's not even a clash, it's just a release of Conquerors. It looks like it splits the sky, and not only is it like, you know, knocking out fodder everywhere, it actually disengages the Gorosei's quote-unquote devil fruit forms. I think it is pretty notable to be like, people like Dahl are still standing. So I would say the vice admirals are unaffected by the Conqueror's Haki, which you would think that something of this caliber would be knocking out basically everybody. So seeing Dahl, and I think we see another vice admiral here not pass out, either that's a very specific thing for this Conqueror's Haki, or they just have, you know, strong Haki themselves. They're able to withstand it. But yeah, they all get knocked out of their devil fruit forms, and it's like, it's so powerful that not only are they knocked out of these forms, they get sent back through their transmutation circle. And it's funny because Mars is just chilling on the couch looking over at them. Like, Mars got launched a while back, and whether it's like there's like a area perimeter, or like amount of damage you can take, something or another, he basically just disengaged and went back to Mary Joy and just sat there. Like, bro didn't teleport back, he didn't fly back, he was just like, all right, I'm done. They got that. But what's interesting is that Emu felt this Haki. And I think for me, this personally confirms that whatever powers the Gorosei have are connected to Emu. Like, if it's a devil fruit, if it's like some kind of demon power, whatever it is, it's connected to Emu because when they felt that haki, Emu felt that haki. So there's some kind of connection between all of them to which them being hit by that haki blast affects Emu. And it affects Emu to such a point that they start cowering and like they're on the ground, cowering, shaking. They shook by this haki. Now I wonder if this is a shake of fear or a shake of nostalgia. And when I say nostalgia, I mean like there's a possibility that JoyBoy and Emu had some kind of relationship or rapport in the past. So it's not necessarily that, you know, Emu feared JoyBoy. It could be that Emu is just shocked to be feeling JoyBoy's haki at this day and age. Because technically that shouldn't be possible. But back to Egghead, the Sunny finally lands in the water after like 4 chapters of flying through the air. And it's weird. I thought there was going to be something special to help with the landing. I could have sworn Frankie said, I'll make sure we land properly. All they do is smack into the water. And again, I think the Straw Hats treat their ships kind of roughly. Like, the amount of times their ships smack into something, like what, rudder first, is insane. Like, I know Sunny is hurting right now because that was like a Kaido level drop into the water. No cushion, nothing. Just straight raw dropping. But everyone's united. Luffy sees the ship and he's like, hey, y'all made it, let's go. People are wondering how the robot managed to disperse the Gorosei, but I mean, it is what it is. We out of here, so we ain't gonna worry about it too much. The only person that's still here is Saturn. And at first I was like, what's going on here? Why did Saturn stay when everyone else left? I was like, is Saturn special some way? I completely forgot that Saturn actually just traveled here on a ship. He didn't do the transmutation. He was just actually here. So while he's knocked out of his Devil Fruit power, it doesn't send him back. So whatever that Haki Blast did, it just straight up negated the powers. Like, it didn't destroy them completely. It just negated what they were doing, which means all the teleportation was undone, and it means all the transformations were undone. I would be curious to see if Saturn can change back, you know, in a short manner. Or if this like Haki Burst was almost like an EMP for Devil Fruit. Like, I want to see something come out of that. But then we go into a bit of a flashback. A flashback of JoyBoy. And this is basically when JoyBoy is talking about sealing his haki inside the Iron Giant. And obviously we're going to have to see more of this, because how on earth do you gather haki and seal it? Like, who even thinks of that? But I guess one of the things we have to remember is that the technology and advancement of JoyBoy's era surpasses even the era we're in now. So it's very possible that they had a way where you could actually seal haki into things. And we get a nice couple of silhouettes of JoyBoy, and he looks a lot like a Luffy Shanks type build. Like, he's got the straw hat on. He looks relatively normal sized. A lot of people are looking at one of these panels and saying that he's a peg leg and a robotic arm. I'm not gonna lean too much into that, because I think this could just be a matter of drawing. It's perspective, right? Not only is it a flashback, but it's a flashback of a silhouetted character from a distance. Like, I don't think that's enough to speculate on how he actually looks. It definitely does seem like he has like his arm is robotic, because it just has 2 pincers, and his leg is very skinny. He could have a peg leg and a robotic arm. I'm not gonna go there just yet. And I don't think any other panels really show. Yeah, I don't see any other panels other than that last one that show what he like looks like on that side. So I'm not gonna speculate on that just yet, but I think, you know, the possibility is there. Again, They lived in a time with advancements in technology that's far beyond what we have now. So they could have easily made prosthetics. I mean, we have prosthetics now, so could have easily been done. But we get the last conversation with, JoyBoy and Iron Giant. And JoyBoy is basically saying that no matter what, he's going to be there to protect him. And that's what that haki is, basically. It's like protection. It's a protection for the Iron Giant and anybody the Iron Giant deems worthy of protecting. Now, considering this seems like a one-time deal, I think the Iron Giant is done for. Whether it be because Luffy's leaving and like he doesn't hear the drums anymore, or if it's because Saturn's about to like finally destroy him. Either way, I think the Iron Giant's done and we are leaving Egghead. Now, Saturn does have the ability to still chase after them. Whether he actually does it, I'm gonna doubt it. I'd imagine they're gonna go back and report on what happened instead. Because realistically, if Saturn chases after Luffy, it's not gonna end well for him. We've seen time and time again that, at most, even if we can't destroy Saturn, Luffy's gonna tear him to shreds since they have to rebuild, and it's just gonna be that happening over and over and over again. I doubt that's gonna happen. I think he's gonna go back, they're gonna report on what's happened, and they're gonna try and make a next move instead of trying to figure out what happened here. It's a Nest lobby pretty much. Or it's like, yeah, we lost, just pack it up. And that is the end of the chapter. Overall, solid chapter. I liked it. We get some new concepts. I want to see what they do with this transferring and storing of haki. I think that's a big revelation. I can see what's going to happen with like the Odin haki argument that's been traveling around for quite some time now. That basically just got a big agenda buff. But I really want to see the interrelations of Emu and JoyBoy. Like I need some lore on that. Because that was probably the most shocking thing to me. Just how shook Emu was at JoyBoy's haki. Like we need to see that up front and center. Now, based on where we're ending here, I'm imagining next chapter is going to be next chapter is going to decide who's going with us and who's not. Right? We're going to do like the separation. Either everyone's going to Elbaf or we're going to split some people here and go separate ways. Now, I don't think anybody would be leaving per se. The only person that might leave is Bonnie, but that's only if Esper is with her. And it's very possible that everyone just goes to Elbaf first. We'll see. We'll see. It's definitely going to be a transition chapter. We might even get a chapter where we're not focusing on the Straw Hats and just some of the other worldly stuff. But I'm excited to see it. Now let's talk seasonals. This season has some pretty good stuff lined up, I would say. I have a set interest in quite a few. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to watch them all or if they're all going to keep my interest, but we're going to see. At the top of my list for anime that's killing it this season, Wistoria. I don't know what they putting in Wistoria, but I am here for it. I might even start reacting to Wistoria because I just have a good time watching that. It's only 3 episodes, and like I think I realized how much I liked it when the fourth didn't come out. The fourth got delayed until the 4th of August, I want to say, but I was hunting for the 4th episode. Like, what's going on? Why have I not seen the 4th episode anywhere? And I was just like, oh yeah, this anime got me hitting different. I mean, acting wild. So I need more Wistoria. Wistoria is going to be my top one for this season so far. One of the ones I haven't started watching yet, but I see a lot of talk is Losing Too Many Heroines. Or is it Too Many Losing Heroines? One of those. I see a lot of talk about that. I want to start that one. I think that's going to be pretty interesting. Ones I have started are Why Does Nobody Remember Me in This World, the Osan Nubi Adventure, and then Last Crusade Season 2. I also started Failure Frame. And so here's the thing. Our Last Crusade, when the first season came out, I really enjoyed the first season. And it's not like one of those shows where it's like you have to see it, or like it's perfect 10 out of 10 show. But it's one of the ones I just like, it's just fun to watch for me. Like I really enjoyed that, and when I heard about season 2, I was like, oh yeah, absolutely, I'm here, locked in. So Last Crusade is also going to be on like the state list, and I've enjoyed like the first couple episodes so far. I think it's the humor mixed with like the bits of action and stuff. Like overall, I just have a good time watching that show. If you've not seen Last Crusade, I would advise you go check it out. Basically, it's like 2 warring factions, but like I don't want to say like the main force of each faction, but like a very strong force in each faction. They like each other. Basically, there's the Ice Witch, Alice on one side, and then you have the Saint, Iska, on the other side. And it's like he's this kind of, I wouldn't say stoic, but he's this, just chill, laid back MC who's super strong. And then she's this kind of socially awkward Ice Witch that's also really strong. And basically they're mortal enemies. Their 2 factions are constantly fighting each other, but through some Shakespearean ways, they've ended up liking each other. So like while they still fight against each other, they do have this kind of relationship where it's like, okay, let's sit down and have tea in this battlefield type deal. I really enjoy it. It's one of those like ones where I stumbled upon it, watched it, and I was like, hey, how come no one talks about this? And it's by Silverlink, and something about Silverlink hits different for me. Like when they drop something, I'm not gonna say it's like trigger or votable levels of I'm interested, but it's like, yeah, I'm checking it out properly. I might at least give it a shot. And I already like the series, so it was a given anyway. What else did I start? I started Osanobi Adventure, and that one's also fun. Just an old dude who's really strong fighting people, has a strong team. Like that's a fun one. And I think that's what I'm gonna find a lot of this season is just anime that's fun. Anime that I can just sit down, watch, enjoy, and then, just maybe talk about a little bit, but essentially move on to the next one. And that's not a bad thing, sometimes you just need anime that you just like to watch to chill to. Like every anime doesn't have to be One Piece or Demon Slayer. It can just be chill, relax anime. I started Failure Frame, and Failure Frame is okay. I have a thing about like CGI in anime. I tend to not like it, and Failure Frame uses it a lot, and it's not good looking. So it kind of turned me off. I think I'm on episode 3. I haven't gotten past that, and it's falling down my list of anime for this season. I wouldn't be surprised if it falls off the watch list, but I'm not gonna do it quite yet. Why Does Nobody Remember Me in This World has also been pretty cool. The story seems interesting so far. I think it has a chance to be hit or miss. We'll see in the next few episodes if it can keep me entertained or if I kind of fall to the wayside. We'll see. You'll probably get an update on that next week because I'm probably going to watch more episodes on that. Ones that I'm really interested in seeing, like I said, Too Many Losing Heroines is going to be on the list. No Longer Allowed in Another World is going to be on the list. And then The Strongest Magician in the Demon Lord's Army Was a Human is going to be on the list. I'm going to have to check those out. Those should all have like 3 episodes out by now. And generally 3 is what I give for the seasonals, the 12, 13 season animes. I give the 3 episode watch. If I have any strong feelings about it after 3 episodes, that usually dictates whether I continue watching or not. So we'll see how those work. But like I said, that's what I'm doing so far. Again, My Hero went ahead and ended. I also read JJK. I might do some stuff on that. Honestly, well, for JJK, I can talk about here. I'm bored again. Like, I guess I've been bored for a while, so I can't say bored again because I never stopped being bored. But I kind of want to wrap this up, but now I'm afraid that Lacuna is just going to lose for no reason. And I know we wanted Yuji to have a domain and this, that, and the other. Yeah. I don't like Yuji. I think he's boring as a character. And this portion of the story feels very, I don't want to say Mickey Mouse. It's not interesting. Like, what are we doing here, really? If we're not going to throw hands and we're just going to talk, that's one thing. That's very Naruto-esque. But I don't want this to be the way the fight has been going on for like, I don't know, 50 chapters. I have no idea. I don't want it to end like this, which is like, all right, you're done. Like, that's so anticlimactic. I need a big ending for how they've been building up this like how many months long interaction. Give me something bigger than Yuji's domain, please. But as for My Hero, like I said, I'm probably gonna make a video about that on the main channel, just talking about the lore and history of My Hero. You know what? Not really lore and history, just my lore and history of My Hero. But let me know what you guys thought about the chapter. Let me know what seasonals you watching. Like, comment, subscribe, smash the like button, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.